Vaudevillians. And not so good at spelling.
Recording in progress. Oh wait, I can't. Damn it. Hold on.
Lick the tip.
Mic check, testing.
Testes? Are your testes all
Testes.
jingling?
Jingling, baby.
Do you
They
feel
jingling, baby.
do you feel the vibrations? The ethereal vibration?
Man, I'm resonating like a fucking Harley Davidson. Yeah. Yeah, Hey! Welcome back. Welcome back to Tom Talks, where I'm Tom, and I am not the host. That guy is. His name is Fody. Welcome back, Fody. Or Titmouse.
Titmouse.
That's
right.
That's your new nickname for today. Not to be confused with the world famous DJ Deadmau5.
Yes.
Not that guy. You're not that guy.
No.
No.
I'm hardly a DJ.
You're not even a D.
No.
Well, no, you're not a J, but you're definitely a D.
I'm a little D, but still, it still counts. I'm totally a D.
And welcome back to Tom Talks.
Welcome back, everybody, to this cavalcade of knowledge and truth and comedy based on real life, where absolutely nothing is stranger than fiction, so to speak.
What?
Well, real life.
Well, first of all, the nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe.
Just a bit.
A
little D worth.
A little D worth. Okay, just the tip.
It's
just the tip of truth. Everything else is probably bullshit, but however, it is all about real life. I mean, it is all real life stuff.
Yes, it's based in reality.
Just that we live in a reality of bullshit, shit, bullshit,
yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
you know what I'm saying.
Even bullshit in itself is real. Everything in existence is reality.
Well, the mere fact that we are addressing it makes it real. It's real life.
Yes. And
everything that we do is based in real life.
Exactly. And it's just interpretation of reality, so to speak.
Interment.
That makes it sound like we are forced to discuss reality.
You're forced to, yes. Which then would not make it sporadic nor spontaneous. And it would definitely not be a soliloquy because you're responding. So therefore, it's more discourse than soliloquy.
It's a call and response thing, which would be funny. Could you imagine Socrates back in the day? Said Deo. It's like.
Do you think they engaged in the oral tradition, the Greek oral tradition?
They partook in all sorts of traditions, from oral to anal. Digital. You name it.
They encompass the entire gamut. Gamut. The gamut of. Yeah.
There was an archaeologist. I want to say this is like 15 years ago.
There was once an archaeologist.
Yeah. And this archaeologist
archaeologist walks into a hole.
Well, which reminds me of the time where the archaeologist walked into a bar and he said, "Ouch." But they actually discovered a rock that had graffiti on it.
No way.
And they carved. Yeah, like scratched. I mean,
yeah,
graffiti
yeah.
comes from
Old,
grafo, to write, to
the
inscribe.
old. You meant it in the old
Why
Greek
are you
way.
rubbing your nipples? What do you think? You thought old, and you automatically, oh
I
yeah.
wasn't. I was rubbing my horns, not
Ah,
the
okay.
nipples. What
Yes,
the
yeah, yeah.
fuck's wrong with
Your
you?
nipple
Jesus,
horns. But
my horny nipples.
your horny nipples, exactly. But this archaeologist uncovered a rock and they carbon dated the scoring on it, and they
Okay,
showed that it
got it.
was some 3,000 years old. So it's one of the earliest instances of graffiti. And I don't know what it was in the ancient tongue, but it pretty much translated to at
It
this
was a dick.
spot. Yeah,
It was
no,
a
at
dick,
this
wasn't it?
spot, and I forgot the names. Let's just say
Testicles, testicles.
testicles here, testicles laid down with, uh, you know,
Somebody.
anocles. You know, it's just
Nice.
like,
Wow, that's
yeah,
so awesome.
yeah.
That
So,
porn is the first graffiti, or an insult. An insult is the for no.
well, porn has been known historically, and we have a lot of precedent that porn is what makes every technological communication innovation
Mhm.
go forward. The printing
It
press,
also,
Gutenberg started with the
yeah,
Bible,
yeah,
but it wasn't until erotic literature took
sure,
off.
yeah,
Erotic
yeah.
pamphlets. Could you imagine? It's like
Mo
Playboy
porn
started as a
makes
pamphlet.
porn. Get your porn today. Get your fresh hot off the press.
Extra,
Um,
extra.
extra. Porn makes the economy go round.
It
That's
does.
the reality of life.
I mean,
Um,
VHS took off over Beta. Beta was far superior video technology.
Wait, you're telling me that beta was the alpha?
Yes, Beta was the alpha.
Stop it.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
And
Wow.
uh, but because the porn industry chose the cheaper version, which was VHS,
Hmm.
that's where VHS took off. That's the same thing with the internet. The internet, all these highfalutin ideals of preserving human
Yeah.
knowledge, no one really gave a shit until free porn came along,
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of preservation,
Mm-hmm.
the word, the Italian word for condom is preservative.
Yeah.
Do you speak any other languages? Do you know if well, you do, I know that you speak other languages, but do you know if that what's the word for condom in other?
Well, in Greek, the colloquialism is kapota,
Yeah,
which
that's the which is funny because the French and the English
mhm.
have they share that. So I believe in English is a reference to a coat,
Mm-hmm.
and in French it's shit. I knew this. In French, it's called I don't remember.
Well,
Maybe I'll look it up while you spew some other crap.
does that make you, when we're thinking about the term preservative, right? It preserves, right? The um what's the word? The purity of the woman, right? It's meant to preserve her honor and whatnot.
Yeah, you're engaging in preservation of your current status.
Exactly.
Indeed.
It's a
So in
prophylactic
French,
tactic.
yeah, it is a prophylactic tactic. So here, according to the oracle, um, it is the same word in French, but I know that's not what they call it in daily stuff. Anyway, the official name for a condom is preservative in French
Mm-hmm,
also.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Where is the brand name? Let's say Trojan.
there it is.
Yeah,
Capote anglais.
Capote Anglais.
Yep.
So
which is English overcoat or English
English
coat.
overcoat. So Truman
With
Capote, for example,
Capota
was a
is
rubber.
condom. Truman
Yeah,
Capote, yeah,
yeah,
Truman rubber. Capota is coat
yeah,
in Greek. You know, yeah.
yeah. Which
How are you so well versed in Greek? That's so that's quite. I mean, I'm well versed in many languages.
yes.
I'm fluid with the tongue.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it's
I
because
I speak Italian because I've traveled there many times, and studying cuisine obviously has, and design
yes,
and art and music
in archaeology.
and archaeology. You have to speak Italian. So
And yes, of course you do.
what's your excuse?
My excuse is that I have always been enamored by Greek style. It's
Ah,
it's
you like
very, yeah.
because you're into the artisanal.
Yes, and I like to analyze things on a higher level or a lower
A
level. It
lower
doesn't matter.
level.
Lower level, yeah, yeah.
and
It's quite
and you
fascinating.
enjoy finding the rear entry of every subject.
Of course, you know,
You don't like to approach it from the front.
it's true,
You
true.
prefer the yeah
I like to fondle the gates of wisdom, so to speak.
yeah
And
kind of. I see, because you're in a constant quest to reach around subjects,
yes, yes,
right?
and penetrate uh, uh,
The halls of
knowledge to
knowledge.
find, yes, to find that
Yeah,
nugget of truth,
the nugget.
the
Yes,
nugget of truth.
the
Yeah.
nugget, and you're partial or impartial. You're partial to the arts of the odiferous um, elements,
Yes, yes,
right?
and it doesn't
I
matter.
understand. Makes sense now.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
doesn't
it doesn't
matter.
matter what, because once, if you close your eyes, you have no understanding of, I mean, there's no descriptor that tells you any reality of the subject that you've penetrated,
No, no, you.
that you've penetrated.
Well,
So
see, that's the thing. To penetrate implies a forcible entry, right?
no. Penetration is just, it's going beyond a threshold. Is penetration.
It is. But when we take into account, like we're talking about the prophylactic tactics of you know, in antiquity, you have the Greeks, how they infiltrated slash penetrated the
Mhm.
walls of Troy, correct? And that's why the
The
most
the
famous
back
brand is
walls,
Trojan.
yeah, the back
Um,
walls,
yeah,
the back walls of Troy,
yes, exactly.
and
And
the English. So they were wearing their English coats to penetrate the back gates,
yes,
the rear gates of Troy with their horse,
mhm, you're riding the
um,
horse.
riding the horse, and while they were wearing their capotas, right?
Yeah,
And we all know that the capota comes from skins, not skins, intestines,
yes.
right?
And where do the
Uh,
intestines connect to?
the rear entry of the sheep,
Full
which
circle,
the
everything.
Welsh, the French, and the Greek mountain peoples enjoyed um,
Vociferously.
herding, herding, herding,
Yeah.
uh,
Hurdy-gurdy. Uh,
hurdy.
what do you think the Welsh term for that would be? It'd be something like with 800,000 consonants, right? And
Oh,
pronounced
it would
moit.
be 37 3785 letters,
Yeah.
and it's probably pronounced Duke.
Duke. There is actually in Wales there's a village that has the longest name in the world. And
Absolutely, it is. And
it's
do you remember what it's called?
I can't pronounce it, but it's something like Lanfair. But there's like W's and G's and X's and L's in it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And
It's not. Well, that's very insensitive of you. It's not ridiculous. You're talking about a people's language. They're so insensitive.
Who are the actual original Britons? The Welsh are the original islanders who were all shoved into that area when the Anglos invaded.
Into the back end of the country.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
They were shoved in the back.
And strangely enough, the Anglos were the original Germanic peoples.
True.
Who swept into to conquest. So, I mean, talk about setting a standard of paradigm of
penetrated the eastern. Yeah, they penetrated the eastern coast of the British Isle.
Yep, and then they took it over.
And then from there, and then from there they salmonated their language and their coastal.
Like salmon going upstream, they salmonated.
Yeah, they whistled. No, in the agricultural sense.
Yes, they brought
to seed. They seeded.
Yes, they
seminated.
Yes, of course.
Like, seminated,
like Johnny Appleseed, who seminated the entire North American corridor, which I would
not to be confused with inseminated, because that has a different meaning.
No, because when you inseminate, it implies that there's penetration in a deposit. When it's seminated, you just get it all over the face.
You just throw it. You just throw it. You just
but it would have to be more like this. You can't throw it like that because it's not really going anywhere.
It may backfire. It may backfire.
Exactly.
It's like,
and then it's on your face. And
it's on your beard, right?
And then you got to use a black light to make sure there's no visible material
on the beard, because you don't know. But next thing you do, like you're on a hot date. You walk into the club, right? You go to the club. And you're and the fucking lights come on and you're covered.
that would be so distressing.
That would be awesome.
That's why I think modern society does not lend us the time that's needed for seminal purposes. You know what I mean? it's something that needs to be done without the anxiety of time constraints. Oh, I gotta rush.
Do you think that the Seminole were really anxious people?
Maybe that could be an explanation. I correct me if I'm wrong, which I most likely am. But...
You probably are. I don't need the office. I don't need the fact checker for it. But go ahead,
definitely don't need on this one. But there is a tribe still of First Nations in North America that technically did not sign the treaty, and I believe it's the Seminole. I'll have to look it up.
So what does that mean?
That means they're still technically at war.
At war?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Still technically
that would be awesome.
Would be awesome. Kind of like Korea is still technically at war. It's an armistice between North and South. But they're just they're still technically at war, which makes it the longest running war in modern history. The 100 Years' War was the longest, I think, in history totality. But
we all know that the 100-Year War took place in
75 years, I think.
in the 70s, right? In Liechtenstein? No,
Liechtenstein. It took place.
Wales.
It took place
Where did,
in some 70s. I
somewhere.
think the 1670s or the 1270s. But it definitely, if it was 100 years, it definitely covered the 70s. We just don't know which century of it, you know. At
Nor
some point,
the exact location,
well,
but it happened somewhere.
dude, some of these wars in history, when I would study them, and again, I wish I had someone like who was a historically nuanced genius who could
Yeah.
review my
Well, at this point, even a historically nuanced
individual.
mediocre
Yeah, yeah,
individual
yeah. Would help,
would
but
suffice. Would
the
suffice.
the biggest conflict when we're talking about conflicts, over resources or whatnot, the first conflict that was culturally driven, in the sense of, we're not trying to conquer your people, we just don't like your people, that's why we're going to war with you, was between the French, the Gauls, and the Germanic peoples. Because, and again, I apologize to our viewers in the year 2088. You'll know better than us, especially because we know that Bill and Ted did time traveling and went to these
Right.
historical eras. But the Germans and the French hated each other because one or the other were considered low class because they ate garlic. Garlic was in their diets.
Wow. And I thought it was because one group was
Preferred
apt
hairy
to
armpits
writing
on their women.
and Wild Stallions, and the other one didn't. So therefore, those are barbarians that they ride wild stallions,
Yeah.
which is probably why Bill and Ted traveled to all these places in time, was to assess the wild stallion situation.
That's true. Because
They
I pretended to freeze. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was quite funny. That
I
was
always,
quite funny.
I love that in the Abram Zucker shows, like Police Squad, how at the end there was always freeze frames at the end of every sitcom, but they would pretend to freeze frame. They're like, "Ah, you're
Yeah.
good," and then people would still be doing shit in the background, and they'd be looking at them like, "Why did they stop?" Those guys were a genius trio. Talk about, like, when you have comedy gold, modern day, Matt and Trey for South Park,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
those guys, South Park has been a gold mine of genius, and they've stuck to their guns. They're like, we're doing it our way. We really don't care. And
Right.
they've managed to succeed that way. But you look back at other comedy groups, Abbott and Costello, uh, Barney and Fred from Flintstones.
How old are you? How old are you,
Me?
man? Because every time you reference something, you're like, "Hey, do you remember? One of the greatest entertainers were the Vaudevillians." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're
Al Jolson.
180. You're 100. That's so
Well,
fucking racist, dude.
no,
You're like 150 years old. Like, you're constantly referencing. You,
it's not my age.
how are our wow, that's a tongue twister. How are our viewers
Yeah.
in 2083 562 going to, like, they're going to have to watch this with a fucking encyclopedia, whatever version of Encyclopedia Britannica there will be at that time,
Well,
just so that they can understand your shitty joke about
well,
I mean,
you know that I like to tickle the fancy. We've already determined that.
you like to trip the late fandango.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But I think that in my particular case, I was always intrigued by that which came before, you know, and
As opposed to that which came on. Yeah.
yes, or that which didn't come at all,
Right.
which is usually the case, you know. It's just
Most of the time.
most of the time, if
Most
not,
of the time, there's no coming. Yeah.
there's absolutely none. But because you
Stagnant.
learned the
Stagnant.
building blocks of where things came from, I grew up in an era where we had rotary telephones. We had 4 channels on television, which would go off signal at midnight.
Yep.
So we needed to do things with our time, always.
And a lot of it was manual labor. From
yeah. I mean,
from what I gather.
Yeah, there's still a lot of manual labor today.
Well, probably more today than before because you're married, right?
You know, a lot more. Yeah. In
Yeah,
fact, it's all handwork. It's all really, really callous inducing.
Talk about callous inducing artisanal. Yeah.
But that's the nature of life. But the thing is, you learn when you reinforce knowledge, and it sticks with you, and you get to live with it, absorb it, analyze it, and think about it. It becomes part of your life, part of your being, and you respect and honor the knowledge and the art that came before, right?
Yeah, you lost me at analyzing. So
because you're not into analyzing whatsoever, huh?
At all.
What you're
telling me? I like to come in the front entrance.
Do you retch at the very prospect of having to analyze things? you prefer to...
And on that note, I'll answer that at our next episode.
Our next episode?
I think you need to stop that conversation.